Hey everyone, welcome back to another Meet Kevin live stream. Today with Berkshire Hathaway's 2021 annual shareholder meeting. Keep in mind that the last time Warren Buffett held this meeting, it was also it was kind of a virtual meeting. They had an empty conference center, and Becky Quick was doing the interview, and they kind of just rattled off questions. Very different from previous years where obviously usually everybody gets together. What I want to cover, though, before this gets started, because we've got about 7 minutes before it gets started, is some of the best parts of Warren Buffett's annual shareholder meeting from last year. So going back to what Warren Buffett said last year, I have his notes because we covered this last year as well. He mentions that if somebody would have invested $1,000 on the day he was born, it would have been worth $170 2 years later. And that when he was born, there's this massive crash right after. And then he mentioned that as long as you believed in America and you believed that America was intact, you would end up having turned $1 into $100. And so Warren Buffett really had this, and this is a very similar belief to what I have, this belief that nothing can stop America, that people say that because stocks are quoted minute by minute, that you should develop a new opinion every minute. And I thought this was a very interesting quote that he mentioned last year, because it's something that is so true. You know, for example, when a Tesla goes down or Enphase goes down or some of our favorite companies fall in value, regularly we see in the comments, oh my gosh, does this mean I should sell? Why? And this is very similar to the explanation that Warren Buffett gave last year. He says, are you going to suddenly sell your land because somebody keeps yelling at you a lower number? Stocks go down. Big deal. And he kind of made this ironic picture where it's kind of like, because I'm buying a house or I'm trying to buy a house right now, and it's kind of like, hey, will you take this price? Let's say it's $1 million. And he's kind of like, well, what if I offer you 900? How about 800? How about 700? It's kind of a really good analogy for your psychology. It's like, why would you all of a sudden sell when people are offering you lower numbers? Did you lose conviction because the number changed? Like, who cares? That doesn't mean you have to listen to it. Nobody's forcing you to sell, and the management of that is so important. Now, he mentions that 99% of people, the S&P index fund is his favorite recommendation, that he doesn't recommend stock picking. Mario Draghi, he says, brought whatever it takes to Europe, and that's what we're doing at the Fed. So this was kind of a reference to all of the money printing that was just starting last May. This was May 3rd of last year, which was really incredible. Then he talked about airlines. He talked about essentially a lot of airline uncertainty, how last year he completely sold out of his airline position. This was a big deal. There was a disclosure that he had sold, and it wasn't clear if he just sold to under 10% or if he got rid of all of his airline holdings. He got rid of all of them. Shortly thereafter, airlines fell to record lows. And of course, since then, many of the airlines have doubled or tripled in value. Then he talks about shopping malls will change, businesses will die, and that's normal. However, the government has never defaulted on its debt. They own the money printer, he says. Yeah, we have definitely seen the money printer in action. Remember, this is just a recap of last year. So then you've got, let's see. He says there are two things about markets. One is values based on known variables, and he would rather wait until those known variables become known to continue to invest. This is actually really relevant, and I hope we see a lot about this now because there are a lot of unknowns. He likes making decisions based on known variables, is what he's saying. Right now, we've got a lot of unknowns. A big one. What's inflation going to be? Is it going to inflect up or down? I want to hear Buffett talk a lot about his inflation expectations. He's lived through periods of hyperinflation. Are we going to see hyperinflation again or not? He says, for things that we don't see, people and markets are usually disproportionately fearful. This to me was like such a beautiful line because it's so true. This is literally what we saw all of last year. Fear in March. fear in the summer around a second wave, which was ironic because there wasn't really the second wave in the summer. Massive fear right before the election. Oh my gosh, what if Biden gets in, right? And then we had this massive rally. Massive fear lately with hedge funds shorting their long positions because they believe, oh no, expectations can't be that high. And meanwhile, companies are beating, yet the stock prices are falling. It's crazy. So then he mentions on May 5th, he mentioned that the bottom happened so fast, the discount is really over, to discount the uncertainty for him. So on May 3rd, he was already saying, you know what, look, the bottom happened so fast, it came and went. I'm just going to wait until there's more clarity, which obviously even buying last May would have been a really good decision. But Warren Buffett likes looking for that certainty. And so that's what I hope we see a lot of today. This live stream is scheduled to begin in 2 minutes. It is being done in partnership with Yahoo. Yahoo is broadcasting his annual shareholder meeting. So, of course, I'll be streaming here and adding commentary, and then we'll do summaries, which I always like doing. But this was my summary from last year. And I thought it was really, really, well, first of all, I think it's really incredible to look back at now because it gives us a guide as far as what Buffett might say today. Is he going to wait for certainty before suggesting, hey, we've got these big new investments coming? Is he worried about what Robert Kaplan at the Fed mentioned yesterday, which Robert Kaplan at the Fed yesterday said, hey, things are starting to get overvalued. Is he going to talk about the stock market being overvalued? What about real estate being overvalued? Is he going to tell us, hey, there's nothing to do, I'm starting to sell? Or is he saying, hey, there's nothing to worry about, we should go buy? Be fascinating to see. And the meeting will begin in just about 1 minute. So we'll stand by for the meeting to begin, which will be very exciting. But I have to say, revisiting the old letter. Gosh, we should almost it would almost be funny to go back through the prior years too before that. But last year, I think, was really the one that matters most right now because we do have so much certainty now in hindsight. Certainly, stock picking killed it last year. Last year, stock picking was something where you could have doubled, tripled, quadrupled, or even more your money. It's absolutely incredible. Now, so far at the start of this year, most stock picking concentrating around higher multiple stocks has been very challenging. And it's been hard for a lot of people.
Welcome to this Yahoo Finance exclusive live.
There we go. We're just getting started here. To hodl through it. And my recommendation, of course, is to hodl. It's kind of like he mentioned. Say, you got, when if somebody invested $100 the day he was born, they would have had, I'm sorry, if he invested $1,000, they would have had $170 just 1 year later. But if you held, you'd have made lots of money. All right, let's listen into the intro.
Set to give us their unique take on an incredible year.
You can bet on America, but you have to be careful about how you bet.
That was last year. That's too funny.
Brutal recession and unprecedented government stimulus feeding into this raging bull market. Hear what they'll say about the Bitcoin boom and the meme stocks led by the Reddit army that blew up the balance of power on Wall Street. A once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for investors willing to stomach it all.
If you can't handle it psychologically, then you really shouldn't own stocks.
So what's next for Buffett, Berkshire, this market, and your money? Join us now for Yahoo Finance's exclusive coverage of the Berkshire Hathaway annual shareholders meeting.
That's incredible. Those are some good highlights.
Hello and welcome to Yahoo Finance's exclusive broadcast of the 2021 Berkshire Hathaway annual shareholders meeting, sponsored by Yahoo. Sponsored by Moomoo. Moomoo is a one-stop smart trading platform of stocks, options, ETFs, and more. I'm Andy Serwer, editor.
Can you get 2 free stocks linked down below like you can with Webull when you deposit $100?
Berkshire Hathaway CEO Warren Buffett and Vice Chairman Charlie Munger will be appearing in just about 1 hour, speaking directly to investors about Berkshire's business, the stock.
1 hour? The meeting's supposed to start now, 12:30. What's up with that?
There'll be questions.
Clickbait
Itself, succession, the reunion of Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, and shareholder proposals about climate change, diversity, and more. To discuss all this, let me bring in our panel from Yahoo Finance. That includes Akiko Fujita, Miles Udland, and Julia LaRoche. Miles, let me start with you. The company just announced earnings this morning. Break it down for us.
Yeah, I mean, this is an annual meeting, and we do have first quarter results out from Berkshire. Of course, a lot of operating.
Okay, well, I'm going to pull off this. I'm a little disappointed, I have to say. The expectation was that the event would start at 12:30, and they're just really starting live stream coverage. We do not yet have their 2021 shareholder letter, so their letter is not out yet. And wow, okay, well, if Buffett and Munger aren't going to be on for about an hour, I kind of think maybe we just call this the recap of the 2020 version, and we'll come back in an hour when the actual when the actual event starts, when Munger and Buffett come on. How does that sound? I think that's a good idea. So let's do that. We'll circle back, and yeah, we'll see you in a little bit. So hopefully you appreciated that intro into or sort of review of the 2020 to kind of get you warmed up for the 2021 meeting. So I'll make this, I don't know, what should we call it? Watch first. Recap of Buffett's 2020 shareholder meeting. Watch before 2021 meeting. Yeah, I like that. Okay, perfect. All right, then we'll circle back. Yeah, sorry about that. No idea about that scheduling, but that's very bizarre. And we'll be back in an hour. Thanks everyone for being here. We'll see you soon. Bye.